The Border Gavaskar Trophy 2024-2025 is currently tied 1 apiece. Perth was won by India, Australia won Adelaide, the Brisbane test was drawn. Now all hopes are hinged on the 4th test. If India win, they will not lose the BGT. But if India lose, they will then be not allowed to ensure that they get the BGT. They can only draw the series. But at this point in time, if India are just about managing to hold on to the BGT by the barest of margins, it's because of this man. Jasprit Bumrah has been truly sensational. 9 wickets in Brisbane. He took a 5-wicket haul even in Perth. He took 4 wickets in Adelaide. This is the main reason why India are still 1-1. And Allan Border, in an exclusive interview to the Times of India, has said why Jasprit Bumrah is an amazing bowler. And in that interview, the focus was primarily on Bumrah when he stated, Bumrah's wrists, release points are different. Because of the hyperextension, he is releasing the ball a foot further. He has a unique shuffling run-up. Snap of these wrists makes him amazing. I mean, look at Bumrah's average, look at his record in Australia. He's got 5-wicket hauls in Melbourne, he's got a 5-wicket haul in Perth, he's got a 5-wicket haul in Brisbane. Even when he's not bowling full tilt, Jasprit Bumrah is the cheat code in more ways than one. And Allan Border has attributed these 3 things only: hyperextension, wrists, release points, and just a very short run-up. Yes, in the past it has hurt Bumrah, but after the surgery in New Zealand, he's really transformed himself into one of the best. Just about an average of under 20 in Australia, and overall also he's approaching 200 wickets, which is simply phenomenal. Border attributes all of these factors, that's why he's great. But as far as captaincy is concerned, one GOAT captain potentially acknowledging another contender, because he's mentioned, as a captain, Jasprit Bumrah will do a very good job. In Perth, he used himself properly. Captaincy-wise, the way he set the fields, you could not fault him. Consider this, when Rohit Sharma's come back, he's not won a test match. The only test match that was won was under Jasprit Bumrah's captaincy. There is a growing demand, make Jasprit Bumrah the captain. But whether his fitness will hold and whether he'll play on a consistent basis, that remains to be seen. But there is no, but it is not as if you cannot debate it. Pat Cummins had an injury-plagued career, but now in the past 7 years, he's been sensational. Jasprit Bumrah, maybe this is the start of a golden phase for him as far as fitness is concerned. So Border acknowledges that he will do a good job if handed the captaincy for India. Now, Indian cricket is on the throes of a transition. Ravichandran Ashwin is gone. The spotlight is on 2-3 other players also. Now, as far as giving a long rope is concerned to some of the youngsters, we've always had this debate. How many matches should Dhruv Jurel get? How many matches should Sarfaraz get? How many matches should other individuals get in order to establish themselves in the Indian cricket team? Now, Allan Border has given his definition of a long rope. Can't give someone a year or 2. You can give them a series. You can tell if someone is cut out for it over 3 tests. Nearly everyone has been dropped in their international career. Border is clear, like yes, if you want to analyze the potential of a player, you want to hang on to that potential, give him a series or 2. But you cannot give him 1-2 years just because he's got the potential. When will he realize it? He cites the example of Steve Waugh. Steve Waugh had a very torrid couple of years. He was then dropped. Then he came back, he became a much better player. And he overshadowed, if you look at it, his younger brother Mark, who had done it earlier as well. So Steve Waugh was the classic example. Getting dropped was the realization. Then he became a much better player. Border also lavished praise on Yashasvi Jaiswal because he mentioned he's got incredible talent. People have not seen much of him. It will take a while for the bowlers to work him out. He will go through a little bad patch, work it out, and come back as a better player. Now, in the Times of India interview, Border has stated that yes, Yashasvi Jaiswal might go through a bit of a lean patch, but most of the bowlers have not seen him. Although in the IPL that has kind of leveled the playing field at that point, many people will know how Yashasvi Jaiswal plays. After the century in Perth, his returns have dipped. But maybe it can once again ensure that it does well. So, in that way, when you look at it, this is a very, very good scenario that's there. But he has a word of caution for the Indian cricket team, especially when you are in a transition phase. He stated, in a transition period, chopping and changing the side is wrong. If you identify players on potential, stick with them for a bit. Moving on and going to the next is wrong. Do not adopt a horses for courses approach. You do not know how the player will flare up later. So, in that way, when you look at it, this is a very, very important lesson that Allan Border is giving to the rest of the people. Do not have a horses for courses approach in a transition period. So, Border is all praise for Bumrah. Should he be the next captain? You can write to us in the comments below. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this video. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis.